Marvel at how Marvel screws over another Marvel creator. Hey guys, it's Comic Relief Crusader here with some interesting news of Marvel and how they just love to screw over the fans and everything like that. But this time it's going a little bit different because this time it's about creators that they're not paying again. So X-Men editor Tom Brevoort, who's been no stranger to controversy, especially, and, tarnishing Marvel Comics over the past few months, has been posting on Substack recently. And he's revealed Marvel's cynicism when it comes to identity politics and, talking openly about bad business practices and, that intentionally screwed over creators. This time about Rob Liefeld, unfortunately. Now, as we know, Rob Liefeld created a whole slew of characters into particularly the X-Men comic books and whatnot. Cable, X-Force, bringing back New Mutants, essentially back from cancellation. Deadpool, of course, everybody knows about Deadpool, and, going off on his own tangent to start Image Comics with Youngblood and all the other characters that go along with it in the Extreme Studios, which was fun back in the day. Now, Brevoort isn't exactly a fan favorite with most people out there when it comes to comics. Teasing changes to the X-Men's forthcoming reboot, especially with images labeled like, Back from the Ashes and ending the Krakoa era and whatnot. Plus on top of that saying that it would be more of a political book, that the message is the premise, and essentially calling fans and critics that, don't want to put up with identity politics, especially in the comics, calling them cretins. And alienating fans and whatnot. Not exactly the smartest business practice that you would think. Now, Rob Liefeld, obviously, as I mentioned before, very well-known creator, when it comes to Marvel characters in particular that I mentioned beforehand, has also been in the news the past few months. Starting his own brand new comic book, which he released via live streams on Whatnot. Go check it out if you still can. As well as his comics comment on Twitter, which has upset a lot of industry professionals, especially in the Whisper network. So now Tom Brevoort has been talking about Rob Liefeld and his past with the company that he started on his blog, saying here, in a misguided and unsuccessful attempt to avoid paying creator incentives to Rob Liefeld, with whom he'd had some bitter encounter, Bill Jemas had decided to relaunch and rebrand the 3 ongoing series that Rob had creator participation in: Cable, X-Force, and Deadpool. So Cable became Soldier X, X-Force became Ecstatic, and Deadpool became Agent X. And all 3 of them suffered failing sales and were ultimately discontinued. Well, kind of interesting here. So basically, this kind of confirms that Marvel Comics has actively tried to screw Rob Liefeld out of royalties with name changes to their books, showing the company's basic attitude towards creators, which is right there on full display, which is pretty pathetic. I mean, with Tom Brevoort revealing how badly Marvel Comics treats its creators right before an X-Men relaunch, one wonders why the company would allow this public relations blunder to essentially see the light of day. So, I don't know why Marvel is committing basic comic carry to a guy that's basically made them sales for, well, a few decades at least. So, now, Rob Liefeld, as far as I know, has maintained Marvel Comics hasn't paid him in years, but recently chimed in when talking to Bleeding Cool about an incident, saying, "I absolutely denied it at the time because it seemed inconceivable given the low sales that those titles were experiencing. Then months later, I was informed of a first-hand experience of them trying to figure out a way to do it by someone who was in the very room it was... Well, you figure the rest out. Marvel doesn't want to pay Rob Liefeld. How very interesting. So, I don't know what's going to happen of this. I don't know if Rob Liefeld's going to be taking any kind of legal action. I don't know if he really can, because it's up to Marvel, basically, whether or not they want to change titles of certain books that they put out. I don't know if Rob has any repercussions from this, aside from not getting paid. I don't know how this is going to affect possible royalties, seeing how Deadpool 3 is coming out. But we'll try to stay on top of this. Other than that, this is the Comic Relief Crusader. Go buy some old Rob Liefeld issues.